because I know we have people who are working tonight, but thanks y'all for jumping on. Super excited to go over what I call the cycle of sales. Some of you may, well, maybe just Heather, have heard this before. I talk about it, I feel like every once in a while, at least every company that I've been a part of, I've talked about it. But it's I feel like the psychology, the breakdown of it is going to be easy for us to find where maybe the gap is at. So I feel like there's like a little the cycle, and it might be the gathering information about people. It might be the actual part where we like are talking to them initially. It might be the part where we need to ask more questions, how to cover the objection. We might get stuck. They might be like, oh, I gotta ask my husband. You're just like, okay. Or they might give you the money objection. You're like, I don't know. So we're gonna go through each cycle of the sale. But today I just wanted to start with the pre-approach part, which isn't much. So we won't be on here too long. But that part, it's still important because if we don't have the background knowledge, then I feel like we kind of are just cold calling. We're just like cold messaging. Have you ever heard of like the hey girl message, the cold message, and people will either copy and paste and they have like your wrong name, or you can just tell that it's like a super long copy pasted message, or they're like, oh my gosh, you should come do Bravenly with me. And you're like, I'm literally with Bravenly. I don't know if you've ever gotten that before, but I've been in companies where people are like, you should come Thrive with me. I'm like, I've been in Lavelle, I've been in Thrive for 7 years. So you clearly did not look at my profile at all. Or, they might be telling me, oh my gosh, you need this for, let's just say, weight loss, right? And you're like, well, I've lost like 20 pounds, like I'm good. But if she would have been like, you're a busy mom and I can tell that you've got a lot going on in your life, girl, you need the energy. So the pre-approach is before you go to talk to someone, what kind of information can you gather about that person? So there's kind of two different ways that would happen. So first off is if you know the person already. So let's chat like the pre-approach before you go approach somebody that you already know. So let's say, because this is what I did when I first started and I had like 200 friends on Facebook. I went to my high school yearbook and I went down the line and I looked for the people that I liked and I friend requested. I found them on Facebook and I friend requested them. I went through my middle school yearbook. I went through my elementary school yearbook. I found them and went through them. I went through like my cheerleading group that I coach for and the people on the directory. Like I looked up their names and I friend requested them on Facebook. The people from like the neighborhood I had lived in then. And then I went to their neighborhood page and I started friend requesting people. I think I went to the Nextdoor app and started friend requesting people that lived in my neighborhood. So some of them I knew, some of them I didn't know, but I wanted to get background information on them before I would have started a relationship. And this is where you're really going to build the rapport. This is where you're going to connect with people before you even go into offering any kind of product or service. You want to have that like, know, and trust factor, whether you know them or not. And you do that by approaching people. But if you already know something that you can start the conversation off with, it's going to be an easier conversation and it's going to be a warmer conversation. So like people, but let's say it's like my middle school friend that I was, hey, Amanda, what's up, girl? um, let's say, let's use Becca. I'm going to use Becca. She's my friend. So let's say I found Becca in the middle school yearbook. I'm like, oh my gosh, we used to be so like such good friends. We used to do talent shows together. We would dress up and do Spice Girls and do fashion shows in our living room. But it's been a hot minute. Like I haven't talked to Becca in probably 15 years. I'm going to go find Becca on Facebook, friend request her. I'm going to stalk her. I'm going to see what she's been doing with her life. I'm going to go scope out her page. If they're not too active on Facebook, maybe you can find them on Instagram or wherever, but Facebook's usually the place where most people put their life out there. And I'm going to see Okay, she's married now. Oh wow, look at how cute she is. She has two kiddos. She's got a boy and a girl. How fun. They're talking about traveling. They went on vacation. I'm gonna gather as much information about Becca before I go message her. Um, and what I actually probably would do before I even messaged her in her inbox is I do a little tactic called RCM, React Comment Message. So my pre-approach is gathering information on her. And as I'm doing so, I'm going to start just trickling that relationship in there before I go to actually approach her about like a real conversation. So the R stands for react. So on their social media, when you react to them, that's showing a heart on their post. I mean, you can do a thumb, but the thumb does nothing for the algorithm. So you kind of want to do a heart or a wow face or like the little one with the heart, whatever it is, little guy, girl, whatever that thing is with the heart. I mean, you could do a mad face if it's a mad face kind of post, but like some kind of reaction. And I would react on a couple of the posts. And she might not have posted since 2013, but I'm gonna go find it and I'm gonna react to it. So R, react. And then I like to comment. So commenting on one of those posts or even a different one. And now this can be in one sitting, or you might want to space it out between like a couple days where you're like reacting and commenting on one post one day, and then like the next day you go react and comment on another post. So you're not like super crazy stalkerish. But hi, buddy. Hold on, okay. Oh, good. And so commenting, I wouldn't just do like hearts or love it or things like that. I would do 4 words or more because that's really going to show that you're interacting with that post. The algorithm likes 4 words or more. So and let's say she posted a video or whatever, they went on a family vacation, maybe they went to the beach, right? And I would say, oh my gosh, Becca, it's been forever. This looks like so much fun. Where did you go? Ask a question in your comment so she can respond back to you. So she has something to comment back to you on that post. Or you can just, you know, you don't have to say it's been forever, but you can just say something like, how cute are you guys? Like, you know, what if it's like her kid has a cute bathing suit? Like, oh my gosh, I love his bathing suit. Like, where did you get that from? Your bathing suit's so cute. Where'd you get it from? Ask a question so they can respond. Because I'm gonna let Erin in. I don't see her in the waiting room unless I am.
She's probably on my Zoom.
Oh yeah.
This is Kristen's Zoom.
I know. I didn't go back through and look at Brittany's info, and I just put mine on there. So I was like, I don't know. So I just put it on there. Let me see. I just put it in the chat. Well, like it's. I guess I could have texted her. So our react, comment, see, and then message. So those reactions, those comments are kind of gathering like that pre-information before you go into a messenger. And what's good about asking a question in the comments is that they respond back and you kind of go back and forth in those comments. It's really going to boost the algorithm because they're like, oh, cool. Like these people like each other. They're reconnecting. They're having conversations in the comments. We're going to show them their newsfeed more often. And then once you have, you know, a couple things going back and forth, it's so much easier to then transition that into approaching them in Messenger. So you don't feel like, oh my God, I'm just like going to message them out of nowhere. That's awkward. You've built that through like a newsfeed thing, or even in the stories, you know, like if you see their stories and they're like, this place looks like so much fun. Where did you go? You know, you can start that before, like, building that before you actually like really go into a conversation, into Messenger. So the pre-approach is where you want to know like how you can navigate. So if I'm looking at a friend of mine and I'm just, here are the kind of highlights of what we help with, right? We help with energy. We help with weight management. We help with inflammation support. We help with gut health. We help with, hey, can y'all go to the playroom, please?
This time.
Like really right here, of course, right here. We help with sleep, we help with joint support. Y'all help me in the comments. What else do you help with? You know, there's like kind of main categories, right? Maybe libido, maybe mental health, that kind of stuff. If you already know like kind of where the direction might be able to go, it's easier to feel like you can go into that conversation and approaching them with more confidence of like, okay, I'm not just messaging the message. Like I have an idea of how we can navigate the conversation. So like really, stalking is like the only way I can think of it is like really like getting a background on them is important. And I do that through looking at their social medias. Some people will be more active than others. And if you've known them from a while, like you might remember things back in the day, but what if it's someone you don't even know, right? Let's talk about people that you don't even know and you want to grow your network. You only have 200 friends, but you want to grow your network. You don't even like the people you went to high school with. Like, hey, I ain't gonna lie. I went to high school. There was like 1,500 people in my graduating class. I don't even know like 3/4 of them. I don't even know who they are. 3,000 people at the school. Like it was massive. Half of them I didn't even want to talk to. And that's okay, you know? Let's say, okay, I want to just, hey, y'all, can you please go find daddy? Like, what? Thank you. You know, a way you can pre-approach people is Facebook groups. Finding people you don't even know, but find people who have things in common with you or things that you know where you can go where you're gonna find people that are gonna benefit from the products. Like that sounds a little like, you know, targeting and slimy, but I mean, you're helping them. So if you find like stay-at-home mom groups or you know, we have moms of New Braunfels uncensored. Like those are probably way more my people because we're you know, we're a little uncensored around here. So if you find groups, I mean, it can be dog groups. Because if you have a GSP, you need to match the energy. You need just as much energy as that crazy dog to keep up with it. So those people are going to need some energy. You know, think about your hobbies, your interests. What do you like? What do you like to do? Like I'm even in cat groups. They weren't quite my people. They're a little too slow speed for me. But I tried it out, you know, I tested the waters with the cat group there. And I found Tara found me. I don't even know how it happened. The girl who I joined in Ariel, my upline over there, we met through a German short hair pointer, a GSP Facebook group. That's where we met. She probably sought me out and she was like, oh, this girl's in network marketing. And, you know, she likes these kind of dogs like me. Let's be friends kind of thing. But she friend requested me. I pre-approached the situation and I was like, oh, cool. She's also in network marketing. She's got, I had a Weimaraner at the time, but high energy dogs, like hunting dogs. We have something in common. We already have like that background of like some interests that are the same. So I felt more comfortable being friends with her. So if you're in groups like that and you go to friend request somebody, then and they look at what you got going on because they're gonna look at your Facebook too, be like, who is this person friend requesting me? Do I know them? They're gonna pre-approach you too. So that is why it's a little important to, not really little, but very important to have stuff on your Facebook that when people go there, they know, like, and trust you, and they have things to see and can learn about you on your Facebook. So anyways, in the groups, find things that you're into. You know, I'm in like Florida State Facebook groups because I went to FSU, neighborhood stuff, church community groups. What else do we have? I mean, kindergarten, moms of kids in kindergarten right now. And that there's a lot that goes on at the school. And if they have multiple kids, they're going to need energy to keep up with what's happening with sports. You know, if your kids are in a sports team, travel, you know, baseball, go find a travel baseball Facebook group. And those moms are going to relate to you like that, right? So if you are like, I need a new network and I need a better network, try some Facebook groups and see. And in there, that's where you can go like gather the information you need before you like strike up a conversation. In there, you can use that same RCM method, react to their post, comment on their post with a question. So that way the person who posted posted whatever it is, you ask them the question, they want to respond back to you. And then maybe you can go back and forth, or, let's say it's a dog, the GSP puppy group, right? If someone's talking about, when do you take a puppy to the dog park, right? I had that question too. I'm a little nervous about the parvo thing. So if they have, a post about it, I would say, I'm a little nervous to take my dog to the dog park. What do you think is a good time to get them, acclimated? Like, at what age should I take her? And ask that on a post, if it relates to that, whatever the posts are about. I don't know. There's like random ones of like people ask like, what's the best leash or harness, or do you use a harness or a leash? And then there's a lot of like sad ones of like their dogs that passed away, which I'm like, oh, it's depressing. But like you can relate to that too. And then when could move it into Messenger and have like a more personal, intimate conversation, you can just like, we'll talk about approaching more next time, and I'll have scripts, ideas, and like how to approach cold market and warm market. That will be the next Zoom. But like, this is where you're leading up to that. So when you go into the message in Messenger, you just don't feel like a weirdo. Like you've kind of interacted with them before getting there, and they've seen you in their notifications because you've liked their stuff. You've liked their stuff. You've commented on their stuff, you're in their notifications, and you're already a warmer name. So if you go to Messenger, they're like, oh yeah, that girl commented on my thing in the Facebook group, right? So pre-approaching that way. And then one more thing I want to talk about is a pre-approach and a three-way chat. So let's talk about getting background information in three-way chats, because we use them a lot. And then as an upline, when people throw us in a three-way chat, we need to know some background information. So if, like Michaela's really good at like, she's like, okay, my girl, Emily. Hey, Emily, what's up? I'm so glad you're here on the Zoom. Welcome, girlfriend. She's like, this is my friend, Emily. We met at Bunko. Like, she's messaging me this personally, in my messages, right? Like text. I'm so excited for her. She's already used the product. She loves her BFF and her green. She's already sharing. She started talking about it at Bunko, and she's had some girls that have asked. I put her in my online party, and now she wants to be a brand partner. That's kind of giving me some information. I'm like, cool. So when I go into this conversation in a three-way chat, I already have an idea. Like she works, but she wants to stay home. She has kids and she wants to be home with her kids. And so like, I feel like I can go into that conversation, already having like background knowledge of like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know, it just seems like friendlier. I don't know how to describe it, but it's nice for us to know about who we're having the three-way chat with. So if I go to Erin Aponte or Brittany or whoever, I'm putting in a chat, I'm like, hey, this is my girl, Amelia. Brittany already knows Amelia, but if she didn't, I'd be like, she lives in the neighborhood. She's been using the brew. She loves it. She like took it with her on vacation. She's already lost 5 pounds. She's feeling really good. She wants to know more about being a brand partner. Can you like just help me with explaining that? I'm telling Brittany that on the side, so that way Brittany knows, okay, well, going into it, what she's used and not used, and kind of how to navigate that question or that three-way chat a little bit better. So I mean, I'm just like talking at you guys at this point, but and if you have any questions, like put them in the chat, or y'all can unmute and ask. So when I sold books door to door, while you think about your questions, when I sold books door to door, we y'all would laugh. We would use paper, and we would literally draw the street, and we would draw every single house on the street, like squares. As I'm driving, drawing, not safe, but that's what we did. We would put like some pre-approach on there. So we would put like MC multicolored play toys. What was that? MCPT. So like they had toys outside. And then I would just go, I had to start somewhere, right? And I knew, okay, she had a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. I would write it down. And then when I started talking to this lady, I would ask her questions about the neighbors. And I'd be like, okay, so that house across the street, the white one right there, do they have older kids or younger kids? And she'd be like, oh yeah, they have young kids, 2 of them. They're like, pre-K and 3rd grade. Cool. Pre-K, 3rd grade. Great. I'm writing it down. Do you happen to know if she's home during the day or in the afternoon? I legit ask these questions. They're like, oh, she gets home at 3 after picking them up. Great. Should I look for a white car or a black car? Oh, no, she drives a red car. Oh, red car. Cool. I'm gonna look for the red car. I'm like, and I would ask in detail, and I would get my pre-approach. I'd be like, okay, so are they at Bill Brown Elementary or do they go over to Canyon Lake? Oh, they're at Bill Brown with us. Great. Bill Brown, like legit asked so many questions. And so when I went over, I would ask the name. I'd be like, who should I ask for over there? And she's like, oh, that's Sarah. Cool, Sarah. Like knock on the door. Hey, is it Sarah? She's like, yeah. Awesome. I'm Kristen. I'm the one who's supposed to be sitting down with all the moms in the neighborhood. I was over at Becky's house and I know she has little Johnny and Billy. They're so freaking cute. They're over at Bill Brown. You're at Bill Brown too, right? She's like, yeah. I'm like, awesome. And like I had pre-approach and people would kind of be taken back, like, how the heck does this lady know so much about my life? But if someone's randomly knocking on her door, which sometimes we randomly knock on their messenger, right? But I'm coming to them with like knowing things, not in a creepy way, but like in a comfortable way of like, okay, she's talked to my neighbors. She knows the neighbors' kids' names. Nikki's like, what the fuck? If anyone ever came to my house and did that, I'd be like, bye. But I instantly had a connection with them. I'm like, I'm just the one who's showing kids books, helping with education. Should we sit outside or inside? Most of the time, like, oh yeah, come on in, come on in, come on in. They didn't know me. They had no clue who I was. But the fact that I knew her name, her kids' names, where they went to school, how old they were, all this background information, she's like, oh, okay, well, this girl's supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be looking at these books because she was over at the friend's house. And I guess it's just what we do, right? So I try to translate that into network marketing and like having that background knowledge just makes you more approachable and relatable, and they feel more comfortable talking to you. So that's kind of all I had on the pre-approach aspect. I can't wait till we get into like actually like talking to people, which is the next step. I'm like, okay, now that I have the information on them, like, what do I say when I go to have a conversation? And I'm going to talk about how do we have conversations online and how do we have conversations in person. So, okay, I wanted to read the chat because I feel like y'all making fun of me over here. Uh,
I
these
said
are
you
the
created
fans.
FOMO. That's real deal. You were like, well, yeah, Sarah and Becky and Kim and Karen, they all got the books for their kids. So then Sarah, like Christina's like, well, fuck, if they all bought them, like my kids can't be the only ones out the books, so I got to buy the damn books.
When people would order
John,
from me, I had a list of names. I'm like, hey, can you fill out my form? And they would put their name, their kids' names, their grades, and what books they got. And so I could be at the mom. I'm like, hey, do you know all these names? I'm like at the door. I'm like, do you know these names? They're like, oh yeah, she's the PTA president. Sometimes I had occupation on there. I'm like, oh yeah, she's the PTA president. Oh, he's the dentist in town. Oh, that's the pediatrician. And they saw all these people bought books. They're like, well, everybody's getting them. I guess I'm gonna get them too. Like, it works. So we could go door to door and sell vitamins, y'all. See, Messenger doesn't seem so scary now, huh? When I tell y'all we're going door to door, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna stick to my phone. I'm gonna stick right here. Figured out how to find the chat. Hi. Oh, I love it, Emily. You're going on a walk. That's so good. That's what I should be doing. Ever be able to talk to people like that? I've only waved my neighbors never spoken. Hey, you never know. Neighbors, I feel like neighbors, you really need to know your neighbors because what if something happens? Like we had a random fire in our neighborhood and the only way they found out they were sleeping, the only way they found out is because the neighbors across the street had their phone number and called them multiple times until they answered and be like, your house is on fire. You need to get out. And they're like, what? They had no clue. It was in the garage and it started in the garage. So like, hey, you need some eggs? You ran out of brown sugar, you know? Why don't you go ask the neighbors? They'll watch your house if you're gone. Like, you gotta trust them. But my neighbors come over, they take out the trash for me all the time. I take out their trash when they're gone. They come and like check on the dog. They're gonna look at me crazy if I ask all kinds of questions about it. I mean, you will never, I feel like Michaela and I talked about small talk. Remember this, Michaela, at convention? And she's like, I'm just not good with small talk. I like, how do I have small talk? You know how you have small talk? You ask them a lot of questions about themselves and you let them do the talking. We'll talk about that when it comes to the introduction part. You don't even have to say many words at all. If you ask enough questions and they start responding with the questions, and they will like talk themselves into ordering just by you asking them questions.
I feel like if I ask them all them questions from like where I live at, they're gonna be like, "Are you the feds?" But no, for real though, because this town is so horrible with like crime and drugs and like all kinds of things. If I ask them questions, I'm either gonna get hit or they're gonna be like, "Are you the cops?" No, I'm really not. I just want to know about your business.
I just need to know how I can help you with my products here. Okay.
Tell me what's wrong with you. That's what I want to know.
Wait, say it again.
I said, tell me what's wrong with you so I can fix it. That's what I want to know.
We'll work on how to ask that question. But yes, shout out to Emily for throwing Michaela in her first period chat. Okay, girlfriend, way to go. Duplicate the system. Okay, so that's all I had on approaching. Or pre-approaching. We'll talk about approaching next time. But